How's it going? This is Will Holland with a live draw that I'm going to be doing. So I'm basically starting this out so you can see my face and everything because once we get this thing started, it'll be primarily looking at the picture. So we'll be refocusing and getting the camera set back up so we can do that. Anyway, guys, first of all, thank you so much for those who join. Already you got one person join. Thank you so much for that. Hope to see your comments and stuff. I'm going to kind of go back and forth between the drawing and hey, how's it going? Glad to see you're on, man. I hope you enjoy this. We're gonna flip the camera around in just a second, so you're gonna get to see it. I'm gonna tell a little bit about the story behind the piece first, and then we're gonna get into the piece. I've laid out some of the basic pencil lines, so that way I can go through and start doing my inking and everything. So basically, this is Kenny Omega. For those of you who may not know this, I am an avid wrestling fan, and so I've been a wrestling fan probably since I was a kid. And most recently in Japan, they had an event called Wrestle Kingdom 12, which is their version of WrestleMania. And so, anyway, so Kenny Omega is one of their elite stars there. And it's funny to say the word elite, especially when you consider the fact that he's part of a faction called the Elite. Anyway, so he came out and Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, yeah. And so this drawing is actually Kenny Omega in his opening, and I say in his costume, he came out dressed as Osiris from Destiny 2. And so this is my version of that. It's kind of hard finding really good pictures. So I had to go through and research a bunch of the stuff in order to try to find out what the armor looked like. So mine's a little bit different. Mine's a little bit more modified. So I'm going to flip this around and then I'm going to get my camera set up and we're going to start drawing on this thing. So alright, well there's my line work for him. So I'm going to spin the camera around so that way you guys can see it. Yay for that. There we go. I'll bet you right there. So yeah, that's my pencil work. So anyway, so we're going to start working on a pen version. I'm going to try to turn this around a little bit, getting set up for this wonderful thing there. I did the pencil work last night to lay it out so that way I can go in and go over my inks. So that way we can go through there and do that. So what I'm going to start off doing is I'm going to work with my outer side of it. I'm going to go in and start working my outer edges and stuff. So I really want to go in and do those and get those kind of big and darked in a lot. So one thing you'll see about this, a lot of times when I do my artwork, I always tend to make sure my outer edges are kind of the thickest lines, and then I work backwards, and I'll go in and start tightening up my lines with a lot of my stuff later on. So go in and do a lot of the other stuff here. Go ahead and tighten that up. Go ahead and get my lines there. Kind of did the hair. Go ahead and get my belt and everything set up. All that fun stuff. Go around the hair a bit. I'll have to tighten that up a bit later. Go around the Anubis front. It's funny because a lot of times everybody was saying it was Osiris from the game, but I'm going, man, that reminds me of Anubis from ancient mythology, ancient Egyptian mythology. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in and black out this section. I want to really mark this section out first because since a lot of his hair is kind of streaky white black, I want to go in and make sure I get that dark dropped first. So I can get that laid out. So that is the darkness that's going to be under the hat that he's wearing. I say hat. The helmet, I guess, would be a better way to put that. And go ahead and get that laid out so that way that's there. So that way we can get that done. Alright, so that's there. Kind of keep checking on my comments every now and then, see what's going on. Anyway, I may come back in and tighten it up with that marker that I was working with earlier. Try to get more of the details and things like that in there. Get the eye set up. Go ahead and get the little track set up at the top of the head that he has on the outfit. And then come back in and do the other top piece. Go ahead and do that. Bring that down so that way you can sit in that headpiece a little bit better. Go ahead and do a stripe here. One thing about that costume I really loved was the fact that it has that Egyptian flair to it. Since that is probably going to be the biggest area, that's the thumb, that's him. For those who may not know, Kenny Omega does kind of a trigger finger thing, where he kind of turns his hands into a gun, like everyone does as kids at some point. But he's managed to make a multi-billion dollar career out of it as a wrestler working for New Japan Wrestling. So, anyway, we got that going. And we got the hand drawn in. So we're going to put that down there. I did take a little bit of a liberty and went ahead and gave him a little hoop to go around it. I wasn't sure what to do with the arm exactly. Because of the way the drawing works, I really wanted to be more of a... wanted to do that. Let's see, headphones. You know, he could go to WWE. You know, the thing about his contract is his contract does end in, I believe, January, this month or next month. So, you know, I don't know that his contract will end before Rumble, but he could definitely be in WWE if he wanted to be. I know the Young Bucks, who are another group that are in New Japan, one of the things that they've talked about was, you know, if Kenny Omega leaves to go do WWE, they're going to pretty much go leave with him. And so, you know, here's hoping. You know, you never know. It's Kenny Omega, it may be time for Kenny Omega to come to WWE. I will say this, though. I know he's expressed in interviews beforehand that he doesn't feel like he has to come to WWE to be successful. So, we'll see. Only time can tell. Because he may end up coming. He may not. I don't know. But I'll be interested to see. I think if he comes, I think that'd be neat. Especially since they just did this match with Jericho. And the thing is that it's not a one-off because he attacked, I believe it's Okada. I believe that's the guy who's the current champion, other champion over there. He attacked Okada afterwards, at the show. And so it's possible that Jericho may be doing some other stuff with New Japan. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything when it relates to WWE because all it's going to take is a phone call for Jericho to come in and do something. So, I'm going to go ahead and black this in and give us a little volume so it creates that shape of the headpiece. That way a little bit more going on there. Now we'll go ahead and hit the headpiece on this side. Go ahead and do that. Look back at the comments real quick, see if there's any more comments up. I don't see any right now. That doesn't mean anything. I kind of look back, and I'm not trying to ignore anybody. Trust me. I'm over here drawing on this end, so it's kind of hard to see the comments up front. But as I see the comments, trust me, I will go ahead and jump on them. I do want to make sure I respond to everybody as they're in. So one of the questions I've been asked on social media a lot when I draw stuff like this is, you know, what kind of style do I prefer? I'm going to let you know I'm more of a cartoony type. I definitely enjoy animation, old school animation. I love hand-drawn stuff. A lot of my old cartoons growing up, stuff like Tailspin, stuff like that. So that's the kind of stuff I enjoy watching. So that's one of the reasons why when I do a lot of my art, I tend to do a lot more animation style stuff than trying to do photorealistic. It's not that I have a problem doing photorealistic. It's just I prefer to do this. So that's kind of where I'm at. So that's my hope. Anyway, so I just like to get out here and try to share these. Make sure that, you know, share these live with you guys on the weekends. I usually try to do them on Saturdays. I think that would be cool if I can continue to do that. So I can go ahead and do it. Okay, so we got most of the inks laid out. I'm gonna go in with a different marker and go ahead and start tightening up some of the stuff in the face, because you may not be able to see that as well. So we're gonna go in with a lighter marker and go ahead and hit that eyebrow. So anybody who's watching, do you have any favorite wrestlers? Any wrestlers that you like growing up and stuff like that? One of my favorites growing up was probably Dusty Rhodes. Love Dusty Rhodes. I thought Dusty Rhodes was one of the coolest dudes ever. Like the Macho Man, yeah. I do like the Macho Man. I've always liked the voice, because I for the longest time I didn't know he sounded like that for real. But the fact that he did was really interesting to me. So I'd run around the house all the time impersonating him. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, yeah, oh, up and down the roads, man, yeah, I'm all over the place. The Macho Man, Macho King, yeah." You know, he faced up against like Hulk Hogan and some of the other guys. I thought that was really cool. He definitely had a flair for the dynamic, that's for sure. The thing was, you'll hear a lot of people talk about Macho Man, and one of the things they'll say, he sounded like that for real. So that wasn't an act. You know, when he was in other interviews away from WWE years later, he still sounded like that guy. So he always tended to sound that way. So I thought that was really interesting and neat that he wasn't putting on an act for the camera, that he did and sound like that a lot of times. So I thought that was interesting and neat. So I'm trying to get that kind of, with Kenny Omega, he has that very kind of, what I'm going to call Sons of Anarchy style beard. You know, it's very kind of wild dyed beard that's it's a bit like kind of salt pepper is what I'm going to call it. It's a bit brown with some black in it. You know, kind of like his hair. Sometimes it's all black, sometimes it's white, sometimes it's a mix, sometimes it's gray. You know, it just kind of depends. So I want to make sure to leave a little bit of room in there so that it doesn't appear as though I'm totally going one way or the other with it. Get the lip in. Go ahead and do my mouth. Get that going. Come back in and check on comments. If there's any new ones, that's okay. It's alright. That's okay. Sometimes it's good to just watch. And I don't mind that either way. That's the glorious thing about these, that you can just sit back and watch and chill out and relax and hopefully enjoy the sound of my voice as I'm doing it. So I feel like I'd be like Bob Ross, except I'm not sitting in front of you while I'm doing it. You see my hands, you don't see the rest of me. So it's kind of cool. I've been a big fan of Bob Ross as an artist too, so it's kind of funny. And I'm going to pull that. That way we get that last bit of tooth. There we go. Get the teeth in there. We'll do the hair here. Okay, so we've got that. Now, this part of the hair, what we're going to do is we're going to, again, since he does a lot of the striped white hair, we're going to do enough to line it out so that it appears more white in the deal, because I'm going to come back in on the other side of that in a few minutes to pick up some of that other side with the darker, like so. I'm going to layer this a lot more so that it's a lot darker. So that way you get the hair darker in there, so that way you get that differential between the white hair that he has on the top of his head to the bottom, without it just blending into the rest of the blacks. I don't want the hair just to blend in. I want there to be a bit of divide between the two. So that's there. So now we got the hair going. We got some of the hair down here as well, because as y'all know, anybody that rocks with Kenny Omega, he has a very long, dangly hair. So looking back at the comments in just a second, see what's going on. Okay, that's cool. Got another viewer. That's awesome. Thank you for jumping in. Greatly appreciate you looking on, watching. If you've got comments, please put them in there. I'm kind of looking back and forth at the camera as I'm going. So if you've got a comment, please put it down. I will look at it here in just a moment. Check to see. Can I hit the button? Okay. Hold on. Hey, Steph, how's it going? What, why, and where is to go? What, why, and where is to go is the what, Boris? I was just curious. I'm not for sure. I don't understand the question there, so you'll have to let me know what's going on there on that. I am gonna go ahead and work on a slightly smaller pen so I can tighten up the eyes a little bit because you can tell I haven't done the eyes yet. He's like, "What? Wait, okay, that's fine." Let me know what's going on, man. I don't mind. I'll get in there and wait with you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. I believe Kenny Omega's eyes are naturally brown, but since I'm not working in color, we're not gonna worry about that today. Get that eye in. That first eye. Okay, that's the first eye. And then we're going to come in and do the second one. Since that's farther away, it's going to be a little bit smaller. It's going to appear a little smaller anyway. So we're going to go ahead and get that black in. And there's the eyes. So we got the eyes in there. Let's see. Okay, got 3 likes. That's it. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody dropping your likes in and everything. That's awesome of you. Thank you so much. One thing I learned in life is people don't have to be nice to you. So I'm glad people are taking a minute to say we like it. Anyway, so I asked the question earlier, anybody have any favorite wrestlers out there? So hopefully y'all hear me. And, if you got a favorite wrestler, put that down in the comments. I want to hear who your favorite wrestlers are. Maybe one of these days we'll do a live drawing of them. That'd be cool. You do like Eddie Guerrero or Macho Man or Hulk Hogan or, if you're into John Cena, we'll do a John Cena one. Or a Roman Reigns. Whatever. We'll make it work. So just let me know in the comments below. We'll see what we can do for you. Alright, so I'm kind of building in my cape. Kind of get a little shape in there in the cape and stuff that he's wearing. Okay. Jinder Mahal, Roman Reigns, Hulk Hogan. Wow, that's a lot of favorites. That's cool though. Yeah, I can do something like that. Maybe next week I can sit down and do one of those. We can discuss that. I think, to be honest, if I was going to do one, I'd probably do Roman Reigns next week. So I could do Roman Reigns next week. I can set up one for Roman Reigns next Saturday. I think that would be good. Give me a chance to work on him a little bit. He has a lot of really cool features in his face. That sounds weird to say, but he does. You look a lot at things like facial structure and things like that when you draw stuff. He has a lot of interesting features, and he's one of the most popular wrestlers in the company right now. So, I don't necessarily agree with that he's the most polarizing. Everybody keeps saying he's the most polarizing wrestler in the WWE. Well, no, I'm not gonna say that's true. I have my reasons for that though. It's kind of hard to be polarizing when the company is behind you. So, but that's it. That's WWE's job. That's what they're supposed to do. They find the people that they feel like are going to be the next big thing, and they push them. So that's the job of the company. So give this a little edge, running around the side, so that way a little bit more dimension in the helmet. Go ahead and come back on the other side and do the same thing here. Okay, I got to get the abs locked in. Because Kenny Omega has some crazy abs going on there. So put those in. Let's see, is there anything else I need to work on before? No, I probably need to go ahead and work on his belt, or work on the championship belt that he has, which is the IGIW, the New Japan Wrestling, so IWGP. U.S. belt, because they do have a branch here in the States now. So there's actually a U.S. belt that they have available to them, and he's their current U.S. champion. So I thought it was interesting. I didn't realize for the longest time that the match with Jericho was actually going to be for that championship. I thought it was just going to be a match, but apparently it was for that championship. So, I think the right man won. That's for sure. I think Jericho coming in, especially into that situation, shouldn't have been the guy to get the pinfall in it. But they've got other stories they could tell with him later now, especially like I said with him attacking Okada at the end of the event. So you've got opportunity for Jericho to do some awesome things there. Let me go ahead and come back in with my regular pen, and we're gonna finish this up with the information here. Let me go ahead and get that going. Yeah, you mentioned Jinder Mahal, Boris, and all I can say is I like Jinder. I think they pushed him really too fast. He went from being a guy that was in the group called the Three Man Band, and he was doing the Three Man Band thing for a while, and then he was gone from the company for a little bit, and then when he came back to the company, he went from being the guy in Three Man Band to being the champion in the course of a month, and then held the belt for like 6 months. And so, I don't know, it just felt a little too rushed to me. That said, I think he has the potential to be a really great character later. And so we'll see what's going on. Are you asking the same question about Jinder Mahal? It's like I asked him the same question. Yeah. So do I need to do anything else with this? Do I want to go in and do? I need to go in and tighten up the cape a little bit. That way we got a little bit more darks in there. Finish that up. And I do believe we've got our picture. So there is our picture of Kenny Omega inked. Now I will go through and do an erase because I do need to do this. This kind of eraser here that you're going to see me working with is what's referred to as a gum eraser. And so this is basically to help me pick up a lot of my pencil that's here that I was laid out earlier, so I can make sure that I didn't miss anything when I was inking. Because you hate to do that when you're doing it, so you want to go over it real well, and not just anywhere you see pencil, but just anywhere you go, anywhere you drew, because you don't be able to pick up wherever that pencil was, and then it gives it a much cleaner appearance too. And I did miss something. As I can see already, I did miss part of the top of the helmet. So I need to go back in there and work that through. And then I missed my lines on the back side of the helmet as well. So I need to go in and work those lines out. It's the reason why we go over the erase this thing. That way we make sure that everything's there. Oh, I got to get the other side of the belt. Okay, so I'm going to brush that off. Now some people have a brush. I don't have a brush. So I'm just using my hand. So I'm going to brush that off. Okay, so I'm going to come back in real quick. Hit that up. Tighten up the stuff I need to tighten up. It could be this and that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this guy, bottom of that. Go ahead and go on my other pen and use the right end. Come in and tighten it up that way. And then I need to make sure I hit my lines on here. I realized looking at it, I was like, I never did anything with those lines with the flag there, so I need to make sure I hit those lines with the flag before I finish this for today. And there we go. I believe we should have something that looks a lot cleaner now for that. So there we have it. We have our Kenny Omega and Osiris outfit from Destiny 2 from Wrestle Kingdom 12. So, boy, that was a lot. That was a mouthful of stuff to say. Looking back at comments, checking to see if there's anything else. I'm probably going to sign this off pretty soon. I I may go in and do a smaller video later today showing me showing me ink this in, go in and do my shading and stuff, because I have other shading pens as well. So I'll go in and do my grays and then pick that up to go ahead and do that as well. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for jumping in on this. I greatly appreciate everybody who jumped in, who commented, and all that stuff. As always, guys, please like, comment, subscribe, share. I try to do a draw through every Saturday with you guys if I can. If I can't, then I'll let you know. But as of right now, I'm able to do that, so I want to make sure to do it. It just gives me an opportunity to be artistic and to share it with you guys. So, and it also helps me to take a break from stuff I'm drawing on as it relates to stuff I'm working on for book projects. So anyway, guys, love you guys. Thank you so much for being fans. She's like, no. Anyway, by the way, Stephanie, at some point we need to try to figure out how to do a collaboration. I don't know how we would do it, but we need to figure something out. I've heard a few ways. We'll have to talk offline about it later. So that's the piping artist stuff. Anyway, guys, take care. Thank you so much for jumping in on this. And we're going to go ahead and cut this off for now. Like I said, we'll do a video later doing shading and getting some shades down so that way you can start getting more of the shadows and all that fun stuff. So, guys, love you. Thanks so much for sticking with me. I greatly appreciate it. You guys rock. You do. You can't, I can't believe how much you guys support me. And I greatly appreciate it. So y'all have a great day and peace. If I can figure out how to shut this off. Or not, I'm going to keep talking until I figure out how to shut this thing off here. Okay, somehow or another I got to shut it. It talks like share. I don't need to share. I need to be able to go ahead and finish it. Can I finish this? Can I finish it? No, that's not what I need. I don't need that. I need to finish the video. Now I'm just sitting there talking. Where to finish the video? It usually gives you a command to finish it. It usually just says finish video. Do I do share? No, I don't do that. That doesn't make sense. Alright, I'm gonna, let me do this. Let me flip the camera around for a second. Let me flip it. And bring it back. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna bring it back and finish it out this way. Alright, there's finally now I have an X. Okay, good. Now I have an X and now I have a way to finish this out. Listen again, thank you guys. Love you. Take care. Be blessed and be a blessing to somebody. Till next time, guys.